What's up, 12s? Hold on to your jerseys because I've got some absolutely wild news that's going to shake CenturyLink Field to its very foundation. You think you've seen everything in the NFL? Think again. We're talking about betrayal, genius, roster moves that slipped right under our noses, and front office decisions that'll have you questioning everything you thought you knew about this organization. Listen up, 12-man faithful. Your beloved Seahawks are in the middle of three separate storylines that are about to collide like a Russell Wilson scramble in the playoffs. We've got a veteran receiver who just stabbed us in the back and joined our worst enemy, a former draft pick who's pulling off the most insane position change you've ever heard of. And it's happening right under our noses with Green Bay. Alton, I'm breaking news about roster moves that could change everything for Week 1. Are you ready for this emotional roller coaster? Because what I'm about to tell you will have you jumping out of your seats, screaming at your TV, and probably calling your buddies to vent about the absolute chaos happening around our team right now. Smash that like button. If you're ready for this wild ride, drop a comment with your honest reaction and make sure you're subscribed, because the 12s need to stick together through all of this madness. But here's what's going to blow your mind the most. We had a wide receiver who was supposed to be part of our offensive weapons this season, and now he's telling the entire world exactly why he chose to join a team we hate most. The betrayal runs deeper than you think, and his reasons will absolutely infuriate every single member of the 12th man. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That's right, 12s. The veteran receiver we thought would be catching passes from Geno Smith this season just delivered the ultimate slap in the face to our entire fan base. Remember when we signed this guy and thought we had ourselves a legitimate deep threat? Well, guess what happened? MVS got completely outplayed by Torrey Horton and other younger receivers during training camp and pre-season, and our front office made the tough decision to cut him loose before the season even started. That stunk. But what happened next is what's going to make your blood boil. This man had options, 12s. He could have gone to Pittsburgh. He could have reunited with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. But no, Marquez Valdes-Scantling chose to sign with the San Francisco 49ers, our division rivals, the team we're going to face twice this season. And now he's running his mouth about why he made this decision. Listen to this quote that'll make you want to throw your remote at the wall. Obviously, I have a good relationship with Aaron Rodgers over there, and he wanted me back over there. So it was a toss-up 50-50. I had to weigh my options and see which one I wanted to do, which was going to be better for my career at this point. And I was excited about it. Excited about it. This dude is excited about joining the team that's been our biggest nightmare for years. He's going to line up against our secondary twice this season and try to burn us deep. The disrespect is absolutely unreal, but wait, it gets even worse. He admitted that getting on the field right away was his main goal, and he saw a clearer path to playing time in San Francisco because their receiver core has been decimated by departures and injuries. So basically, he's saying we had too much talent for him to compete with, but the 49ers were desperate enough to give him a shot. The cherry on top, the 49ers run a similar offensive system to ours because Clint Kubiak is our OC and Clay Kubiak is theirs. So this traitor gets to use everything he learned in our system against us. But hold on, 12s, because this betrayal story is just the beginning of the chaos that's been happening right under our noses. You won't believe what one of our former draft picks is doing with Green Bay right now. You think that MVS betrayal was bad? Wait until you hear about Bill Melton and the absolutely mind-blowing transformation that's happening with the Green Bay Packers that's making our front office look like they missed out on something huge. Remember Bo Melton? We drafted this guy in the 7th round back in 2022, and he spent his rookie year on our practice squad doing absolutely nothing. Then Green Bay swooped in and signed him to their active roster in December, and we probably thought good riddance to a receiver who couldn't crack our lineup. Well, guess what, 12? This story is about to make you question everything about our talent evaluation. Bo Melton appeared in just 5 games for Green Bay last season, caught only 16 passes and looked like he was heading toward the end of his NFL career. He was more of a special teams player than an offensive threat, and everyone thought he was done. But here's where this story gets absolutely insane. Bo Melton is no longer a wide receiver. Are you sitting down? Because the Green Bay Packers just pulled off the most shocking position change in recent NFL history. Bo Melton is now a cornerback. That's right. Our former 7th-round draft pick completely switched sides of the ball and is now playing defense for the Packers. This is the kind of roster move that happens maybe once in a decade, and it's working. He stuck on Green Bay's active roster as a defensive back, which means this experimental move is actually paying off. Now, he wasn't perfect in preseason. He whiffed on 37.5% of his tackle attempts and struggled in run defense, but he only gave up 38 yards on 4 receptions and even broke up a pass. At 5'11" and nearly 200 pounds, he's got the physical tools to be a legitimate quarterback in this league. The crazy part, Bo Melton is now listed as a backup quarterback and will see real playing time on defense. A guy we couldn't find a spot for as a wide receiver is now potentially becoming a long-term defensive player for another NFC team. Green Bay saw something in him that our coaching staff completely missed. While we were focused on his receiving skills, they looked at his athleticism and said, let's try something completely different. And it's working. This has to have our front office shaking their heads and wondering what if. What if we had tried the same experiment? What if we had seen the potential for Bo Melton to contribute on defense instead of giving up on him as a receiver? But 12s, if you think these first 2 stories are wild, wait until you hear what just happened with our practice squad that could impact our season opener against guess who? The same 49ers that just signed our former receiver. And here comes the bombshell that ties everything together, 12s. While we're dealing with former players joining our rivals and missed opportunities with position changes, our front office just made a move that shows they're not done tweaking this roster for our Week 1 showdown against San Francisco. Just this week, the Seattle Seahawks made a practice squad move that could be absolutely crucial for our season opener. We signed Anthony Bell, a special teams ace who spent 3 seasons with the Cleveland Browns and played over 1,000 special team snaps during that time. This isn't just any random signing 12s. The Anthony Bell was a restricted free agent that Cleveland decided not to resign, and we swooped in during free agency to grab him. He's seen limited defensive action with just 392 total snaps over 3 seasons. But he became a mainstay on special teams as a rookie and never looked back. Here's the kicker. Bell played significant special team snaps for us during the entire preseason, and there's a strong chance he gets elevated from the practice squad to the game day roster in the early weeks of the season. Our coaching staff is clearly preparing for the inevitable injuries that always hit NFL rosters, and they want this proven special teams performer ready to contribute immediately. But here's what makes this move even more interesting. To make room for the Anthony Bell on the practice squad, we had to release Sata Lamea, our 2024 6th-round draft pick. That's right, we chose a veteran special teams player over a recent draft pick just days before our season opener. This move shows that Mike McDonald and his coaching staff are prioritizing immediate contributors over developmental players, especially with our first game being against the division rival 49ers. The same team that just signed Marquez Valdez scandling to use against us. Think about the chess moves happening here at 12 seconds. We've got our former receiver joining our biggest rivals, a former draft pick succeeding in a completely different role with another team, and our current front office making last-minute roster. Tweaks to prepare for battle. If you're fired up about all this drama and ready for the season to start, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me which story shocked you the most. And make sure you're subscribed because we're going to break down every single game this season. The season starts in just days, 12s, and we're walking into this 49ers matchup with all kinds of storylines swirling around our team. Are you ready to show CenturyLink Phil that the 12th man doesn't back down from any challenge? Which of these three stories has you most fired up for kickoff?